Ready?
Yes. Parshas Zachar. Parshas Zachar. Arba pamim be'ofen klali chozer v'nishnet milchemet Amalek b'bnei Yisrael. There were 4 general times that Amalek, that's what we're learning about in the morning, Amalek, you remember?
Yeah.
He made war against the Jewish people. 4 times that Amalek made war against the Jewish people. What are these 4 times? The first time we know about. Immediately when the Jews got out of Egypt. That's one of the remembrances that we have to remember every day. Remember how Amalek attacked us when we left Egypt. The second time Amalek attacked us. Now Amalek is this nation, right? This nation that hates God, hates the Jews, a nation. But also, like we said, everything in the Torah is inside of us. It's also a feeling inside of us that opposes God. Well, let's talk about this. The second time that Amalek attacked the Jews is B'shanim Achronot L'Shahot B'nei Yisrael B'Midbar. The later years when the Jewish people were in the desert. Elisha'az, then Amalek came dressed as a Canaani. Vayavo a Canaani, it says that was Amalek. Third time that Amalek will attack the Jewish people, was B'Tekuva Rishona, in the first period when the Jews lived in the land of Israel. That was the whole story with Shmuel killing Agag. La'achar minoi Shaul HaMelech, after Shaul was chosen to be king, but Kodem, the Binyan Beit HaMikdash, and before he built the holy temple, Kafi Aseder Shebe Shlosh Davarim Tistav V'Kanesh L'Eretz, like it says, the 3 things were commanded to the Jews when they came into the land of Israel, to make the Rambam writes, when the Jews came into Israel the first time, they had to make a king, defeat Amalek, and build the holy temple. It took them a long time to build the holy temple, but that's what they had to do.
You repeat again the 3 times meeting with Amalek?
First time that Amalek attacked them was when they left Egypt.
Before Matan Torah.
Right. Another one is after Matan Torah, before they went into the land of Israel. It says, Vayavo a Canaani. The Canaani came and he fought against the Jews. In
the desert?
Desert, yes. It says when Moshe lifted up his hand, people fought against here. You can see 25 and Bamidbar. Yeah, and that's the second time, and the third time is when right. Hey, you see, we read that there's 2 times in the Torah. Remember, we learned that. We also learned a Sikha that it's mentioned twice in the Torah about the Jews fighting Amalek. One time in the end of Parshas Bashalach, and one in Parshas Pt3. Right. So one time was when the Jews left Egypt. Another time it says Vayavo Canaani, and then they fought against Amalek. And then there was another time when the Jews went to the land of Israel, right before King David, the King Shaul, Melech Shaul, he fought against Amalek. That's when he left Agag alive. And the last one is going to be the Melech HaMashiach. The Melech HaMashiach, he is also a king. The Mashiach will be a king. And he will destroy Amalek. The history of the Jewish people, from the time that they left Egypt, V'hithavot Yisrael, and the Jewish people became a nation. Yeah, no, here. The history of the Jewish people and when the Jewish people became a nation can be divided into three general periods. Number one, the time when the Jewish people were in the desert, right? That's when they got out of Egypt. They became a nation. Then they didn't have any connection with physical things of the world. They were in the desert. God provided them with bread from heaven and water from a rock. Culture and everything, their food, their houses, and everything was all provided. The second period in the history of the Jewish people was when they, much longer, this was from the time the Jewish people went into the land of Israel until today. This is the time when the Jewish people have the purpose, the obligation, to work in matters of the world, in this physical world, and to make them holy. I don't know where this is here. Yeah, somewhere over here. This is also when Jewish people were in the land of Israel. The purpose was to transform the land of the 7 nations to the land of Israel, Eretz Kedusha. And at the Shanim Shuruim B'nai Israel B'Galus. Then there's the third period. The third period when the Jewish people are in exile, spread out among the Goyim, that their purpose is Atida Eretz Israel Elit Pasha B'Kol Aratzot, that in the future the holiness of the land of Israel will spread out over the whole world, and then the world will become a dwelling place for Hashem. That's the fourth period, after the Mashiach comes. So we have 3 periods in the history of the Jewish people, 4 periods in the history of the Jewish people. One is when the Jews got out of Egypt. The other one is when they were in the land of Israel. Briefly, they were driven out, but that's the time of the first temple, the second temple. And then the third period is now when we're in exile, spread out among the Goyim. And the fourth and final period will be when the Mashiach comes and gathers all the Jews back to the land of Israel. The tune, what do we say? Now let's compare these 4 periods in the Jewish history with the 4 wars that Amalek fought against us. When do we say were the 4 wars that Amalek fought? Do you remember? Amalek fought 4 wars against the Jews. When? One was
in the book of Moshe.
Immediately when they left Egypt.
Another one was in the book of Yoshua.
No. Maybe I don't know. No, I don't know. It's in the end of the Torah.
It's
and end of the 5 books of Moses.
Yoshua. There's one fight in Sefer Yoshua.
Not against Amalek though.
There actually was. I was taught differently.
Oh, yeah?
This is what someone, his name is Rabbi Bolton, he said there are 4 nations surrounding the Jews. Edonium, which doesn't exist anymore, the Canaanites, the Pristanites, and Amalek. That's what a guy named Rabbi Bolton taught me.
Good, but the war with Amalek was in the beginning of the book of, the book of Shmuel.
Yeah, someone told me that's also in the book of Yoshua.
Okay, you look and see. I don't think you'll find it over there, but you can look and see. Okay, and the 4th period.
The rabbi told me.
Good.
You're probably not gonna. You gotta ask someone who knows.
And the 4th. Look in the book of Yeshua. You have it in English.
Yeah.
Look and see. Okay. So there's 4 battles that we said. One battle was when the Jews left Egypt. One battle was before they got into the land of Israel. The third one was when Shaul fought against This is right before King David was made king. He fought against the Amalek, and the fourth time they fought against Amalek will be in the days of the Mashiach. Mashiach will defeat Amalek.
Cool. I mean, not Kuzi.
Oh. Who told you to say Kuzi?
Guzi.
Kuzi. Who said that?
He did.
It's social engineering. It's gonna come back.
All right, Zachariah. All right, we'll let it go. He told me to do it also. I don't do it. It's because he tells everybody to do it. All right, ready? So these four battles that the Jewish people fought against Amalek, as the first two of them are in the Reishis Tekufa. They're in this first period that we talked about, the Jewish people getting out of Egypt before they went into Israel. The last two are in the second period, namely in the beginning and in the end of the time when the Jews were in Israel. Shnei Acharoni b'Rishita shel Tekufa Sheniya u'B'Siyam Tekufa Sheniya. Right. So we have two general periods in the history of the Jewish people. Two periods are when the Jews got out of Egypt, before they went into Israel, and after they were in Israel. The first two was in the desert, and the last two was after the Jews went into the land of Israel. There was one right in the beginning, when they fought against King Saul, when King Saul fought against them, and the other one will be on the end, when Mashiach brings everybody back to the land of Israel. Anoroim, we see Shabo B'Shashem Melchama Shabarishis Tekufa Rishona, that the battle that the Jewish people made, the first battle that they made against Amalek, was right when they left Egypt. Hofia Amalek appeared, Betsura Galuya, in a revealed way. Hari B'Siyuma, but in the end of this period, right before they went into the land of Israel, Amalek came Mesuvit, concealed, B'damut shel Kanani. He became disguised. So when the Jews were in Egypt, they left Egypt. Right after they left Egypt, Amalek struck. They wandered in the desert for 40 years, right before they went into the land of Israel, as Amalek struck again. Right? But the first time he was struck as Amalek. The last time he struck was as Kanani. He was disguised. Amalek.
But they were still recognized as being Amaleks.
Yes.
The interesting thing is that in all these three situations, it's revealed. Because usually a lot of people will say, Hitler's Amalek, Haman's Amalek, blah, blah. Everything is a metaphor for Amalek. But this is actually three times that Amalek.
They actually fought, yeah. Right.
And the fourth time will be with Mashiach.
Mikan Alomdim, we can say that this is the way that it works. Also, in the second period, after the Jews went into Israel, First of all, the first war against Amalek was with Shaul. Amalek was revealed. Hari Milchama Shebesiyum Tekufa Zu B'Dor Melech HaMashiach, the Amalek will be concealed. So what does he say? There's two general periods in the history of the Jewish people. One is before they went into Israel, and when they were in the desert, and after they went into Israel. Before they went into Israel, at the beginning of that time, and at the end, in other words, when they were in the desert, the beginning and the end, Amalek struck. First time he struck revealed, and the second time he struck concealed. The same way will be now. When the Jews went into the land of Israel, Shaul had to fight against Amalek, then Amalek was revealed. Melech HaMashiach will fight against Amalek, he will be concealed. You won't be able to see what it is. Now this is also relevant to our personal lives as well. Let's see how. I just want to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
This morning you were talking about how at the end, Moshe comes, there'll be one group, will be the most fanatical, and that'll be Amalek.
Right, but we'll see what that is. It's not so simple.